1. Mohammed Kudus transfer update. West Ham rejects Tottenham's £50 million bid. 2. Breaking. West Ham reject £50 million Mohammed Kudus bid from Tottenham. 3. Tottenham I West Ham's Mohammed Kudus an end to unofficial transfer embargo between rivals. 4. Mohammed Kudus transfer update. West Ham reject £50 million Tottenham bid. 5. Chelsea vs Tottenham, the battle for Mohammed Kudus. 1. Mohammed Kudus transfer update. West Ham rejects Tottenham's £50 million bid. Hold on to your seats, football fans, because the transfer saga between West Ham and Tottenham just got a whole lot more intense. West Ham has slammed the door shut on Tottenham's latest offer for Mohammed Kudus, calling it anything but realistic. But here's where it gets controversial. Spurs' £50 million bid, complete with add-ons tied to winning major trophies, has left the Hammers less than impressed. And this is the part most people miss. West Ham isn't just playing hardball, they're demanding a guaranteed £60 million, no strings attached. Why? Because they believe Kudus is worth every penny, and they're not about to settle for conditional promises from a club that hasn't lifted a league title since 1961. Tottenham, fresh off their Europa League triumph, is banking on new manager Thomas Frank to turn things around, but West Ham isn't buying into the hype, at least not for £50 million. So what's next? Will Spurs sweeten the deal, or will Kudus stay put? And here's a thought-provoking question for you. Is Tottenham's reliance on trophy-based add-ons a sign of ambition or desperation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, Frank is already dreaming big, praising his squad's potential and vowing to unlock their best. From Dominic Solanke to Lucas Bergvall, he's got plans for everyone. But with West Ham standing firm, the real question is, can Tottenham's vision for success convince the Hammers to budge? Stay tuned because this transfer drama is far from over. 2. Breaking. West Ham reject £50 million Mohammed Kudus bid from Tottenham. Blockbuster transfer drama is unfolding in the Premier League, and this time, it centers on West Ham's prize forward, Mohammed Kudus. Tottenham Hotspur have tabled an eye-watering £50 million, $68 million, bid to lure Kudus to North London, but West Ham have stood firm and rejected the offer. But here's where it gets controversial. Negotiations between the two clubs are still in progress, and there's a growing sense that the deal might not be off the table just yet. Kudus himself is reportedly open to the move, with Tottenham emerging as his preferred destination should he leave West Ham this summer. Insiders say that agreeing on personal terms with the 24-year-old Ghanaian international is unlikely to be a stumbling block. In other words, if the clubs can agree on a fee, Kudus seems ready to swap claret and blue for a white Spurs shirt. And this is the part most fans miss. Kudus's contract is laced with a complex buyout clause that only activates during the first 10 days of July, according to a recent report by The Athletic. Here's the breakdown. European clubs can trigger it for £80 million, Premier League teams, like Spurs, for £85 million, and Saudi Arabian clubs would need to cough up a jaw-dropping £120 million. After this period, West Ham regain full control over Kudus's future, potentially giving them the upper hand in any negotiations. For those new to Kudus's journey, it's been a whirlwind. Chelsea once had him firmly in their sights, almost sealing a deal when he was at Ajax in 2023. But as Chelsea hesitated, West Ham swooped in with a €41.5 million, £35.6 million, $48.8 million offer, plus an additional €3 million, £2.5 million, in performance-based add-ons. Kudus didn't disappoint. His debut season in England saw him notch 18 goals and 10 assists across 48 matches, making him a heartbeat of David Moyes' attack. His versatility, playing across all forward positions, was a big asset. However, things took a turn in the 2024-25 campaign. Kudus's output took a dip, as he managed just 5 goals and 4 assists in 35 appearances, coinciding with West Ham's slide to a 14th-place league finish. Before his move to the Premier League, Kudus starred for Ajax, netting 27 goals in 87 games and helping the Dutch Giants clinch back-to-back Eredivisie titles in 2021 and 2022. Spurs' ambitions in the transfer market don't stop with Kudus. Even after making Mathys Tel's move from Bayern Munich permanent for €35 million, with a potential €10 million in bonuses, Tottenham are relentlessly hunting for more firepower. They've tried to tempt Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford, who is now reportedly leaning toward Manchester United, and even inquired about Bournemouth's Antoine Semenyo, only to see him sign a new deal with the Cherries. But here's a provocative question. With Spurs so determined to land another forward, does the pursuit of Kudus suggest a lack of faith in their recent signings? Or is this simply the mark of a team desperate to challenge for trophies again? Does West Ham's firm stance reflect the true value of Kudus, or is it a gamble that could backfire if he forces a move? What's your take? Is £50 million a fair offer, or should West Ham hold out for the full buyout clause? Is Kudus worth the hype, or is Tottenham chasing another transfer mirage? Let the debate begin in the comments below. 3. Tottenham I West Ham's Mohammed Kudus an end to unofficial transfer embargo between rivals. Tottenham Hotspur set sights on West Ham's Mohammed Kudus, signaling a shift in rivalry dynamics. Tottenham Hotspur is poised to end an unofficial transfer freeze with their London rivals, West Ham United, by targeting Mohammed Kudus as the first player to make a direct switch between the two clubs in over a decade. This potential move is not just significant, it could reshape the landscape of player transfers in London. Kudus has emerged as a key target for Spurs, who are reportedly optimistic about securing his services for a fee significantly lower than his £85 million release clause, which is active for the initial 10 days of July. This optimism reflects Tottenham's strategic approach to player acquisitions, especially under the guidance of their new head coach, Thomas Frank. While Tottenham has previously expressed interest in players like Brian Buemo, Antoine Semenyo, and Ebereki Eze, it appears that Kudus is currently the most promising candidate to enhance the team's attacking capabilities. West Ham is open to selling the 24-year-old Kudus as part of a broader strategy to finance a summer overhaul under head coach Graham Potter. Interestingly, Kudus himself seems receptive to the idea of relocating within London. Should Kudus join Spurs, he would become the first player to transfer directly from West Ham since midfielder Scott Parker made the switch in 2011. This historical context adds a layer of intrigue to the potential deal, especially considering that Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy previously blocked Emmanuel Adebayer's transfer to West Ham in 2015, marking a decade of no direct transactions between the two clubs. Chelsea has also shown interest in Kudus, but they are currently finalizing deals for winger Jamie Gittins and forward João Pedro, which may open the door wider for Tottenham. As a Ghana international, Kudus brings valuable Premier League and Champions League experience, along with the versatility to play in various attacking roles, providing Frank with multiple tactical options. As of now, Tottenham has yet to submit an official offer for Kudus. The club is expected to finance new signings by offloading some players this summer, and there is also the possibility of new investments from their owners, ENIC, or external sources. The future of central defender Christian Romero remains uncertain, with Spurs sources denying reports of an agreed fee with Atletico Madrid for the Argentine. Romero has publicly criticized the club's management this summer, raising questions about his commitment to staying, especially as he is set to return for pre-season training in mid-July. Kudus joined West Ham for nearly £40 million from Ajax 2 summers ago and had a promising debut season, netting 14 goals across all competitions. However, his performance dipped last season, with only 5 goals as West Ham struggled in the Premier League. A move to Tottenham could make Kudus a controversial figure among West Ham fans, as the club has not sold a player directly to their rivals since Parker's transfer. A look back: the last 5 players to move from West Ham to Tottenham. 1. Scott Parker, 2011. Spurs acquired Parker for a mere £5 million after West Ham's relegation to the Championship. He had been recognized as the Football Writers Association Player of the Year and England Player of the Year. Parker quickly became a fan favorite at Tottenham, winning the club's Player of the Year award in his first season, although injuries hampered his second season before he moved to Fulham in 2013. Verdict: hit. 2. Jimmy Walker, 2009. Walker joined Spurs on a free transfer after being released by West Ham to strengthen the goalkeeping squad under Harry Redknapp. At 36, he was the third choice behind Hurelho Gomez and Carlo Cudicini but did not make any first-team appearances. Verdict: miss. 3. Michael Carrick, 2004. Tottenham paid £3.5 million for Carrick, who had attracted interest from several clubs. At the time of his transfer, West Ham was in the Championship. Carrick initially found it challenging to secure a spot in the starting lineup but became a regular under Martin Jol, making 75 appearances before moving to Manchester United for £18.6 million. Verdict: hit. 4. Jermaine Defoe, 2004. Defoe's transfer involved Bobby Zamora moving in the opposite direction on deadline day. He scored 7 goals in 15 appearances during his first season and had a successful tenure at Spurs, netting 91 Premier League goals across 2 spells at the club. Verdict: hit. 5. Frederick Knut, 2003. Knut's transfer included Matthew Etherington moving to West Ham. He scored on his debut but struggled to maintain a starting position, leaving Tottenham after 2 seasons with 14 league goals. Verdict: miss. What do you think? Is Kudus the right choice for Spurs, or should they explore other options? Share your thoughts in the comments below. ***. 4. Mohammed Kudus transfer update. West Ham reject £50 million Tottenham bid. Transfer drama unfolds. Tottenham's £50 million bid for Ghanaian star Kudus flatly rejected by West Ham. The summer transfer window has just taken a dramatic turn as West Ham United have firmly pushed back against Tottenham Hotspur's substantial £50 million offer for their Ghanaian attacking sensation, Mohammed Kudus. In a development that has set the football world buzzing, the 24-year-old Ghana international has made it clear he's ready for a new chapter beyond London Stadium. With his sights specifically set on joining a club that can offer him Champions League football next season. Tottenham perfectly fits this criterion after securing their place in Europe's elite competition through their triumphant Europa League campaign. Behind the scenes, negotiations haven't stalled despite the initial rejection. West Ham officials have indicated they're not entirely opposed to parting ways with their talented attacker, but only at the right price. And here's where it gets interesting. While Kudus has an £85 million release clause embedded in his contract, Tottenham's hierarchy is working diligently to secure his signature for a significantly lower figure. The competition for Kudus is heating up, with sources confirming that at least 6 major European clubs have made formal inquiries about his availability in recent weeks. Chelsea initially emerged as potential suitors, engaging in preliminary discussions, but well-informed insiders suggest that a move to Stamford Bridge now appears highly unlikely. What many observers might not realize is that trusted sources close to the player have revealed to BBC Sport that Kudus has already mentally committed to joining Spurs this summer, making this his preferred destination despite interest from other prestigious clubs. For West Ham, this potential departure represents more than just losing a star player. New manager Graham Potter, preparing for his first complete season at the helm, could benefit from the substantial transfer fee as the club contemplates reinvesting those funds to strengthen multiple positions across the squad. Since his £38 million arrival from Dutch giants Ajax in 2023, Kudus has established himself as a fan favourite at London Stadium, contributing impressively with 13 goals and 9 assists across 65 Premier League appearances. Despite these contributions in 3 years remaining on his current contract, his ambition for Champions League football might prove too powerful to ignore. But here's the controversial question many fans are debating: is Kudus worth the astronomical figures being discussed? While some argue his Champions League experience and international pedigree justify the price tag, others question whether any player without proven elite-level consistency deserves such investment. What do you think? Is Tottenham right to pursue Kudus so aggressively, or should they explore alternatives? And from West Ham's perspective, should they hold firm on their valuation or cash in while his stock is high? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 5. Chelsea vs Tottenham, the battle for Mohammed Kudus. Chelsea's pursuit of a star player is stirring up tension with their London rivals, Tottenham Hotspur. The Blues are now reportedly keeping a close eye on Mohammed Kudus, a move that could complicate Tottenham's plans to land the Ghanaian winger ahead of the 2025-26 season. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite Tottenham's £50 million bid being turned down by West Ham, Chelsea's involvement adds a new layer of competition to an already heated transfer saga. Kudus, who joined West Ham from Ajax in 2023, has proven he belongs at the highest level. Over 2 seasons, he's scored 25 goals and provided 25 assists in 65 Premier League games, a stat line that's hard to ignore. His standout moment came in the 2022-23 Champions League, where he netted 4 goals in the group stage alone. For a player who thrives on creativity and pace, his left-footed versatility as a right winger makes him a unique asset for any team. Tottenham, under new manager Thomas Frank, is desperate to rebuild its attacking options after a struggling 2024 campaign. Their current signings like Mathys Tel and Kevin Danso have been temporary fixes, and the club is pushing to finalize bigger moves. But Chelsea's involvement raises questions. Is this a case of rival clubs circling the same target, or is Kudus's value being inflated by the attention? Chelsea, meanwhile, has been anything but cautious in its transfer strategy. Since the Bluco takeover in 2022, the club has splurged on young forwards, including Liam Delap, João Pedro, and Jamie Gittins. Future signings like Estevao Willian and Kendry Paz further highlight their focus on youth. Even with Jadon Sancho's departure and Raheem Sterling's return, Chelsea's spending spree shows no signs of slowing. Kudus at 24 fits perfectly into this vision. But here's the debate. Is Chelsea's aggressive approach a smart long-term move, or are they overextending themselves? And for Tottenham, does this rivalry-driven chase risk losing a player who could be the key to their revival? As the next week unfolds, fans will be watching closely. Will West Ham hold firm on their asking price, or will Kudus's camp be swayed by the allure of a bigger stage? One thing's certain, this isn't just about a player. It's about ambition, rivalry, and the high-stakes game of Premier League transfers. What do you think? Is Chelsea's strategy wise, or are they chasing hype? And does Tottenham's desperation to sign Kudus signal a deeper issue with their squad? Let's hear your take in the comments.